you're uncertain, try it.
There are a few things that we never or rarely do.
These seemingly little things make a gigantic difference.
We rarely say yes to any of those.
Question your methods.
If you don't want to trade lives with someone, don't take their advice.
If you want that good feeling, don't just dismiss this stuff. Hey there, this is Greg Denny. We want to reach as many people as possible and help as many families as possible with these conversations. And we want to keep this podcast ad-free forever. You can help us do that by subscribing on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen, your favorite platform, and on YouTube. And leave a quick review and share your favorite episodes with friends and family. It makes a big difference. Thank you for being a part of this very important movement. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Extraordinary Family Life Podcast. We're your hosts, Greg and Rachel Denny. Do you feel good in your own home? In your own family? Does it feel fantastic? Like this is your refuge. This is your place. No matter what's going on in the world, you're like, I feel good in my own home.
Yeah, with my own family.
From our experience of coaching so many people, working with people across the planet, that's rare.
Yeah.
So many people don't even feel good in their own families. And so as we talked about this several weeks ago, we're just like, what are the things that we never do?
That this comes down to, in a way, the crux of our parenting, the crux of our family culture, and being able to create that environment where you just feel good in your family, you feel good in your marriage, you feel good in being at home with your family. Like you want to be with your family, and
they want to be with you.
They want to be with you, and that's actually what I was going to add.
Other families want to be with you.
Yeah,
they want to be around your family.
No, and in fact, other families will send their children to stay with you because that happens to us often. They will send their children to be with us because of the family culture we have created, and we'll have teens stay with us for months at a time. And then families come to stay with us. And, so we have created this very unique, why do I want to use the word delicious? I don't know, this delicious family culture, right?
Because it tastes good.
Yeah, it does, I guess, where people want to be a part of it. And so I think part of what we want to talk through today is like, what are some of the key pieces of that? Like, how have we been able to do that? And we realize there are a few things that we never or rarely do. And that is at least a major ingredient, if not a foundational piece to being able to create this type of culture. Never emulate or take advice from someone whose life you would not want to trade with. Like if you don't want to trade lives with someone, don't take their advice. And so ultimately,
or have the results they have, right?
Right. That's the idea behind that. So ultimately, I think the proof here to what we're talking about is that it works, and it doesn't just work because of we say so, but because, like we said, all these families that come, they're like, okay, it's real. It's legit. They spend months with us. They see us interacting every single day. We're not hiding things in the closet, of like, oh, don't let them know about this. We're just open and honest with our real life. And they see that, and they see that the results are, they taste good. They're delicious. They're desirable, right? And I think that's the proof.
I was just doing some quick calculations. We've been having parents send their kids to stay with us for 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just been awesome. And we've had the most epic experiences all over the planet. And it's a beautiful thing. And that's why, because we've firmly established high standards and a family culture that is just fun and exciting and wonderful and produces fantastic results.
So let's go through this list.
Before we get into it, though, I just want to throw this out there. Like if you're a little bit skeptical or cynical or critical of it, give it a try. Try it out. And at least put it to the test. At least consider it, chew on it for a little bit. And if you find yourself saying, it's not that big of a deal, check that, because we created the results and we've helped other families create the results doing these same things. And I have a good friend, and he's also a coaching client, and their family came to stay with us for a few months. We gave them some very specific challenges about how their kids talk to each other. And I said, eliminate that from your family for good. And they leaned into it, and they said it got a little bit better. I'm like, no, kill it. Like annihilate it from your family culture. And so they pushed a little harder. It went away. And he's like, I can't even tell you how good it feels in our family.
Right. Which we're going to talk about that.
Is happier. And it's incredible. It's so awesome.
Hmm.
And so these seemingly little things make a gigantic difference. And so if you want that good feeling, don't just dismiss this stuff and say, oh, you guys are being a little extreme. It's a little fanatical. It's not that big of a deal. Don't knock it. Okay, let's dive in.
The point for me is to relate this as much as possible to how it makes parenting better, how it makes your family culture better. Because better parenting equals a better family culture. As we go through these, and again, some of them are going to seem like completely disconnected from parenting, but we want to make the connections here so you understand why that matters. Okay, so and as we go through the list, because it's things we rarely or never do, Greg and I are both going to give an answer about whether it's never or rarely for each of us. So you can see that there's also some variation within the family, right?
And between us,
And between
is
us.
sarcasm?
And we have to define sarcasm.
Sarcasm is like, it's hurtful.
Yeah.
You're saying something that causes damage, even if you laugh and the other person laughs. Because you and I, all of us listening, have been on the receiving end of sarcasm, and we're like, haha, that was so funny. And then afterwards, like, oh man,
That was painful.
ouch, that really hurt. Am I like that? Was that some truth there? Were they actually tearing me down? They were trying to be funny, or they just used me to create humor? Ouch, that hurts.
Yeah.
But one day I was like, that's so rude. It's so mean.
Mm-hmm.
And even if it is funny, and even if they laugh, like, that's not the kind of person I want to be. I don't want to tear someone down, even in a funny way.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be spending my whole life building people up. And so, hard stop on sarcasm.
Yeah. What we do in our family is lots of bantering. Bantering is playful teasing. So we do a lot of that, but
Not at the cost of anyone.
especially when you look at the definitions, you realize, oh, there's a clear distinction between sarcasm and bantering. And so we do not do sarcasm. We do bantering. We're playful, we're fun, we're teasing, but it's all in a playful spirit, not in I'm trying to tear you down or, hurt you in some way. And so that's definitely something that goes on the never list. Like we're never, you and I and our children are never mean to each other. We're never intentionally hurting or bullying each other. That just is a no-go.
It's absolutely unacceptable.
Okay, and I forgot to say this, but I need to bring this context here because everything we're talking about, it comes from what we call the pyramid of peace. And that actually comes from a book called The Anatomy of Peace. But the whole idea is you're trying to help things go right rather than fixing the things that are going wrong. And for most parents, I would say they spend a majority of their time, probably 90% of their time, trying to fix the things that are going wrong, trying to deal with behavioral issues, trying to, punish or discipline. The approach that we're taking that includes these things we never do, it's all with the emphasis of helping things go right. And so if bullying is not allowed, if sarcasm is not allowed, you've immediately eliminated a lot of sibling rivalry issues, right? You're helping things to go right instead of trying to fix what has gone wrong.
Yep.
So that's the context here. I want all you to see that this all fits within that.
So you want kids that are confident and have a good, healthy self-image?
Mm-hmm.
Eliminate that crap from your life.
I think this is a very important point for me to add that, one, what you think of your child and the way you talk to your child becomes their self-identity. It becomes their self-esteem.
Yep. And their inner voice.
If your viewpoint and your words towards them are negative, they will have a negative self-esteem. As parents, we are responsible to protect our children. So no matter what happens to them out in the world, they have the confidence to know they are loved and they are precious, and that becomes their self-esteem and their confidence in the world. Like our girls, all of our children have this confidence, and it comes from the love they receive at home. So that is one of the things and then this is where I'm bringing this up. We never say negative or hurtful things to our children. Never.
To them nor about them.
Or about them. I never say anything mean or hurtful to my children. I've never said to any of them, you're stupid, you're dumb, you're so whatever. Like in anger or any other time, I never, ever say those things because that is what creates a lack of confidence for a lack of self-esteem. And that is what then becomes issues in childhood and adulthood. Like that is where the issues stem. because we never say mean and hurtful things to them, when we do discipline them or say honest things to them, they know it comes from a place of love, not because we think ill of them, right? We don't want to be misunderstood that you take this role of softness and
Never be honest because you're afraid
Yeah.
you might hurt them.
right. You don't want to hurt their fragile ego because, there is this place where they need honesty. They need to face reality so that they can grow and develop. But the thing is, I think most important is they're going to get plenty of that in the world. What they need most from their parents is love and support.
Because then they get the solid foundation
Exactly.
and they're strong.
Yeah.
So then when and this is the argument that critics will say is like, you got to toughen up our kids because the world's going to be hard. Well, yeah, let the world do its thing. That's
Let the
not
world
your
be
job.
hard.
Yeah.
You need to be
You
loving.
need to be loving and strong. You need to help them become so strong that when they do go out and they do bump up against mean, cruel, ridiculous, hurt people who are out hurting people, they're like, yeah, didn't really get to me because I'm solid.
Right.
I'm good.
And I think especially because of all of the research from Erica Komiser and others, of course, that, the child's foundation, the child's security in life and in adulthood comes from their attachment with their parents. This definitely plays into that whole scenario. Like, we need to be attaching with our children. They need to be firmly attached to us, not the other way around. When we push them away or say mean or rude things to them, it actually has the opposite effect of what we want. They need to be securely attached to us so that they're strong and prepared to face the world. Okay, that's a good little intro here.
Is being harsh on the live? Dads have this tendency to be really harsh. To the dad lecture and
of course the yelling.
Yelling.
Okay,
and have to be. I guess harsh is the right word for me. Dads tend to be harsh because they think if I don't come down hard on them, then this kid's gonna always be a liar or a thief or a smart aleck or whatever. I'm gonna be harsh. That harshness actually damages them, and it creates the opposite result.
It can actually cause or contribute to them doing
100%.
more of the thing you don't want them to do.
Or some variation of it down the road because we're just wrecking their identity and their attachment to us.
Yeah.
So what made me think of it is the harshness creates distance and frigidity. And
which causes disattachment instead of attachment.
And so then our kids have attachment issues because we're so harsh. And then we make them afraid of us. We make them afraid to tell the truth. We make them not like us. And so we create all this distance when in reality we're hoping that they'll stay close to us, they'll come to us for advice, that they'll listen to our counsel. We're actually producing the very thing, the very thing we don't want.
Right. All of us and all of our children have in some level some sort of attachment disorder. That's what causes our issues, right? And it stems from a lack of attachment to parents. So when our children do something and they misbehave, whether that's lying or acting out or violence or fighting or, fill in the blank, it stems from an attachment disorder. Something is wrong where they don't feel fully attached to their parents, the most important people in their life, and as a result, they act out. So when we then do something, being harsh, yelling, timeouts, pushing, all of those things are pushing them away more. And then that exacerbates the problem because that was the reason they were doing it in the first place. So then if we do the opposite, which I guess let's add this to the list, this is one of the things we never do. We rarely yell because I do believe there is a time for appropriate yelling, controlled yelling, intentional yelling. There's a place for that.
It's probably more you than me.
Right. That is probably more, but I've seen it occasionally from you over 2 decades, right? When necessary. So that's why it's a rarely. I'll say rarely because we used to do it, but now we don't. I would say now we never do it. Timeouts. They don't work. There's not a point to that because you're disattaching your children. I need a better word, but whatever. Disattaching, right?
You're distancing.
You're distancing them. You're pushing them away.
Into isolation.
Right. It doesn't work because what they need is more attachment with you. But essentially, what we do is the opposite. If and when our children misbehave, we actually go to them and attach more. We respond with hugs. We respond with love. We respond with cuddling because that builds the attachment. And when the attachment is strong, they don't have a reason to misbehave.
The criticism of that I always hear is like, well, they don't deserve
Right.
love and
I'm not going to
attention right now.
reward them.
Yeah, I'm not rewarding them for that behavior. And,
That's
and
actually
again,
the exact opposite of the truth.
I go back to what I was saying earlier on. I was like, question your methods. Be willing
Yeah.
to think differently about this. Be willing to get a different result by having a different method. Lean in with love.
Right.
Because we just are constantly thinking they need to be punished. They need a consequence, and that consequence is I'm withdrawing my love from them.
Yes.
Like, man,
And
that creates a bigger problem. Again, like we said earlier, repeated thousands of times over 20 years, you're going to create a massive attachment and love and identity issue that's going to wreak havoc on your children's life.
exactly. Okay. Let's actually get to the list. What's on the list? And now these might seem a little silly at first here. One of the things we never or rarely do, sit on phones and play games. For me, that's actually a rarely.
For me, it's a never.
Yeah, for you, it's a never. We have trained ourselves and we've trained our children to spend most of your time in some sort of productive activity.
Mhm.
So generally what we do is listen to an audiobook. We might even, especially on a plane, watch a movie that's very intentionally picked. Like we're going to do something intentional and purposeful. If we're getting on a phone just to play a game because we literally have nothing else to do, well, then you don't have enough goals in your life if you have nothing else to do. Like
Yeah.
I like times on a plane when I can sit and work on some of the other things that I haven't gotten to because I have so many things I want to do and so many goals I'm trying to achieve. Never play video games. That's a never on all of us.
It's a never.
Now, we did have a period of time when our older children were younger, when we allowed them to play Minecraft.
When Rachel allowed them.
When I allowed them to play Minecraft, because this was the time when I wasn't sure. I was like, well, I don't know. Maybe it's not a big deal. Maybe it's not that bad. I am now of the opinion that, yeah, it is a big deal and it can be usually that bad.
Yeah, and beyond just our opinion, the research is backing it up that the games are so destructive.
Yes.
Just all straight up. This is research. This is not my opinion. Straight up research. If your boys play video games and if you men play video games, you will be less successful, period.
Yes. And less fulfilled and happy. From our own experimentation with our own children, it just never worked out well. As long as video games were an option in the family, like our kids did not function as well as they did without them. So we eventually just eliminated it because it just was so much better. And they now, in their 20s, their biggest regret is that we didn't do it sooner. That's what I hear from my 20-year-old. You should have got rid of the game sooner because my life was so much better after they were gone.
Yep.
And they don't play games now in their 19s and 20s. Okay, next. No radio. We don't do the radio.
The reason we don't do radio is because when somebody opens their mouth on the radio, it's rarely worth you hearing. And we got this from Brian Tracy. He's like, stop. He's like, people who watch TV and listen to the radio are going nowhere. Like they have no future. Like there's just what a waste. He's like, turn your automobile into a university.
Yeah.
Just constantly be learning and listen to people who have something to say that's worth hearing. And on the radio, I can't remember a time I've ever heard anything that was actually worth hearing.
Along with that, no TV.
The TV's on average in the American home 6 to 7 hours a day. It's just this unending stream of visual trash.
Okay, well, that's
What a
another thing.
waste of
We
life.
do no TV, like none. No notifications. I guess this is rare for me. I have very few notifications, specifically ones I have intentionally turned on. But yeah, otherwise, no notifications.
Yeah.
So that is one of our life hacks that we teach our children as well. Turn off your notifications. Do not have notifications from YouTube and from the news and from this and from that and from everything. Like, that's just stupid. Turn it off.
It just made me wonder about something. Most of us have been conditioned to say yes, even when we want to say no.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's one of those things. It's like you down say like, hey, you want notifications? And the automatic response is yes. And so on the list, one of the things we rarely do
Say yes.
is say yes. Most of the time it's going to be a no. We have to deliberately separate ourselves out and stop being people pleasers. So I guess it's either a never or a very rarely when we are people pleasers.
Yeah. And I would say it's a rarely or never saying yes to what we call tribal events.
Yeah.
You know, when people are having this activity or that meeting or this party or this, but we rarely say yes to any of those because we are focused on our family and our family culture and building our business and living our legacy and creating our extraordinary family life. Like that's our focus. And when you're focused on that, you don't have time for all of these tribal events.
And yet I constantly am working with people who are sacrificing their health, their marriage, their kids, and their family culture, and their businesses and their lifestyle by saying yes to all these other invitations.
So as part of our life and our family culture, when we say no to those things, we are saying yes to our family.
Yep.
Which has made all the difference. That's why we have what we want to have. Okay. Real quick, a list: no caffeine, no soda, no white sugar, no fast food, no processed food. That's processed food in our definition is anything at the store that has a list of ingredients on it. That's processed food. No cereal, it's of course included. No juice, no candy. The major reason for this, at least with as far as parenting goes, is every single one of those things has an effect on you and on your children. And many of your problems may very well stem to some of these things on the list causing behavioral problems in you or your children.
Yep.
Low energy, for one thing. Like all of these things are going to mess with your energy levels. And you, as a parent, having low energy, you're going to be less effective, patient, loving, kind, intuitive if you do not have the energy you need to be able to do those things.
Your reactiveness to your child and your child's ill behaviors could very easily be eliminated just by picking your food.
A blood sugar crash that came from drinking juice or eating cereal for breakfast, right? So we just say no to those things. Mock each other. We never mock each other. We never insult each other. I would say these are never mock. We never insult. We never say negative things to or about our children.
Or about each other.
Never. Or about each other.
Yep. Never. Oh, man.
Now, again.
Never. I am never, ever going to insult Rachel. I'm never going to insult my kids. Ever. Those words have never left my mouth and they will not.
Yes. Now, again, this needs to be separated from, yes, I will give Greg feedback and he will give me feedback. We will give each other, and I hate these words, but constructive criticism. We will give that. But it's done appropriately. It's done with love. It's often done when asked, sometimes when not asked, but
it's done with honesty.
It's done with honesty.
And we can do that because we never insult.
Right.
We never mock. We never tear each other down.
It's never done with the intent to hurt the other person, but to actually sincerely help them because we love them.
We could add then to our never list of just hold on to grudges and bitterness and stew and resentment.
Right.
Never. I'm never going to sit here with resentment towards you.
Well, for me, I never hide my feelings. I never try to fake them or pretend. Like I like to use this phrase with you and with our coaching, like I'm emotionally authentic. If I feel something, I'm going to let you know and not pretend, right? We never stay angry, but yeah, we do get angry, and including our kids, they'll get angry, but we don't stay angry.
I would say that's
it is
rare.
still pretty rare.
It's rare in our family.
We get angry when it's appropriate to get angry about things we should get angry about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes we get angry when our dog kills our chickens. Swear. This is a never for you and a rare for me because I've been known to swear. If there's one person in the family that swears, it's me.
In this case, it's like, no, we're genuinely trying to use better vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to be refined and classy. Let's not be naive. Let's watch a movie of what life is really like. And that's important for all of us to know that.
Right.
Because otherwise we become so blinded and so clueless, genuinely naive that those things even exist because most of us live such great lives.
Right. And we refuse to even watch movies that have that content. So for these moms who are afraid to watch things or expose themselves to things that bring up all these emotions for them, like that's the best way to do it. You need to do that. You need to develop yourself to be able to face those scenarios better in a movie than through real life so that you grow in mental strength and emotional resilience and all of these things. Like that's one of the best ways to do it. And that's why we do it. And that's how we use movies intentionally in our family. Now, something I would say never do is we never watch any of those movies that are just pure. They have all of the filth and all of the swearing, and it's just pure entertainment fluff
It's garbage.
pointlessness.
Yeah.
Like, we don't watch those.
There's
Those are
no
just dumb.
story. There's no point.
There's
No
no hero's
hero. It's
journey.
just garbage.
Yeah. Last thing, raise our voices in anger or yell, which I kind of touched on before. We will yell occasionally, rarely if it seems appropriate to get attention.
In anger, but we yell for excitement and joy, fun
Yes.
all the time. Our voices are up.
We're a
down.
loud family. Yeah. Okay. So I would say this is a never. We're a loud family and our children will be loud, but it's never or very rarely in anger. It's often in excitement or to get attention because everyone else is talking and you can't hear me.
Yeah, but with
it's
7 children, that's 9 of us, and it's
and we
extremely rare when anyone gets loud with
Yeah.
anger. Love it. There's a list. It's not comprehensive, but hopefully it's helpful. And
if you have questions, if you're like, well, what about this? Do you
Yeah.
ever do that? Do you
Oh,
ever do
we'd
that?
love
We
to
would love
discuss
to
that.
hear those because we
And-
can't think of everything.
And I guess the invitation here is like this stuff just has worked. It works for us. It has massively worked for us. We have such an amazing family dynamic and so much love and joy, and the feeling in our home and our family is phenomenal. We all love it. It's just a great way to do life. So hopefully this list at least sparks some things for you, things to consider, and maybe some things to adopt here and say, you know what? Yeah, let's give that a try. Test it out. If you're uncertain, try it.
Well, I want to add one more that I just thought of because I think that this is also very important and very key. And that is that we never allow problems to grow into bigger problems. Like, we focus on fixing the problems when they are baby dragons rather than when they become big, nasty monsters. So, and that's in some ways the whole point of this list. These are addressing baby dragons. If we can focus on these things and we're killing these problems while they're small, they don't grow into massive behavioral issues or attachment disorders or divorce. All major problems that families face start as very minor problems.
Yep.
There's no exception there. So if you can learn to address the minor problems, which are things like no sarcasm, one we didn't even put on the list, no hitting, like that has never been allowed. There is
no hitting in our family out of anger.
Yeah, we have never allowed our children to hit out of anger or frustration. Like, that's just not allowed at all. And so that right there solves so many other problems because we don't have these fights going on. We don't have this ugly sibling rivalry because hitting's not allowed, yelling in anger is not allowed, and
Insulting.
Name-calling or name-calling is not allowed. But what we do, because again, we're not teaching our children that don't address problems and pretend everything's okay. That's not what we're doing either. We're giving them tools to appropriately deal with those issues that are real.
Yeah,
right?
It's important to point out that none of this is masked. There's no masks. There's no facades. There's no pretense. Like everyone in the family's pretending to not be upset. It's like,
Right.
no, we're all genuine, open, authentic. We've just created an environment where it's actually really easy to just enjoy life, be happy, and be in love with each other. It's amazing. Rachel and I live for this, you guys. We live for this so that you can have that too. And we're not superheroes. We just are very strategic. And so
We're not
we've done these
unicorns.
things so that, and proving that others can do it too. And then we help our coaching clients do it. And the people who buy our courses, this is what our courses do. And they teach you how to do it so that you can have the family life that you just absolutely love waking up to, and that other people come over like, I love coming over to your house. I love being around you guys. And how did you do this? I want what you have. That's what we're teaching you how to do. And what's so important and amazing about this is you can get it a lot quicker and easier than you might think just by having the tools and strategies. And that's why we create our courses. That's why we do our coaching, because we're taking all these things that we enjoy so much. And then we get to hear from all you wonderful people. It's like, oh, I'm struggling with this, and this is so painful, and this is so hard, and it's so frustrating. Well, yeah, try this, do this. Here's the tool. We're compiling all of that to help you get it quicker and easier than you think. You can create massive transformations. And right now in my mind, I'm thinking through all these families we've already helped. They created like monumental shifts in their family dynamic and culture, like change the feeling like that.
Like-
Okay, love you guys. Thanks for listening. Have an absolutely fantastic day and rest of the week. And as always, reach upward.